Hello you guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be setting up a new 5-gallon Betta tank. I'm also going to be telling you guys on how to properly set up one and care for a Betta fish. Betta fish is generally an easy to keep fish. They're not really that hardy. They don't die that easily. They don't just won't suddenly die the next day you bought them. So they're pretty easy to keep fish, but they still need some requirements to live. They also need a decent size tank, even though it's not that big, but they still need some size tank. So yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys all of that, and I'm going to be showing you guys on how to set up a properly 5 Betta tank. Alright, so the first thing you will need is a tank. I have over here a 5-gallon tank. You won't ever want a tank that's less than 5 gallon for a Betta fish, as 5 gallon is the minimum tank size requirement. But a bigger tank will always be better for a Betta fish, as it will give them more space for them to swim and thrive in. And it will also help to maintain their biology, so you won't ever have to change the water as much comparing to putting them in a small tank. So please do consider a bigger tank when getting a Betta fish, but a 5-gallon will be enough for them to thrive in. The second thing you will need is the substrate. Over here I'm just using clay sand as my substrate, as it is cheap and a good substrate for plants, but you can also use things like gravel or pre-made substrate for aquarium plants. But normal sand or gravel will be fine for a planted tank. Just please make sure to clean them first and make sure the aquarium is safe, and also make sure they are not sharp, as Betta could get hurt by sharp substrates, and you don't want that to ever happen to your Betta. And then after that, I just fill up the tank slowly here using a DIY pump system I made that pumped the water from a bucket into the tank slowly, just so I don't disturb all of the sands and make a huge mess everywhere. But you can just pour it slowly using a container or a bottle. The next thing you will need is a light. Here I have is actually a DIY light I made, but you can use any light. Just make sure to look up the light requirements for your plants if you're gonna have plants, and make sure they're only on for around 12 hours a day at most, as your fish and plants do need a day and night cycle. The next thing I have here is driftwood. It's not needed, but the decoration will make your Betta tanks look nicer and will give your Betta more hiding space, as they do need some hiding space. Just be sure to not put any decoration that might be sharp or have little holes on them, because Betta can easily rip their fins and get hurt or even get stuck, which is something they're kinda sadly known for. Over here I actually tie a rock into my driftwood with a sewing thread, as driftwood tend to float the first time they touch water, so you could try that with your driftwood if it keeps floating. And I'm actually going to use live plants on this tank. Here I got Java fern, and I'm trying to wedge them between a rock as they prefer not to be planted. Java fern are also really good beginner-friendly plants, as they don't require that much care and are pretty hardy and only require low light and no added CO2 system. Actually, every plants that are going to be in this video are all really good beginner-friendly plants. They only require low light with no added CO2 to make it easier for everyone. I also want to say, well, live fan is not a must. It will help a lot in bioload. If you don't want live fans, you can use fake fans, but be sure to use silk fans only because plastic can hurt your betta fins. And in my opinion, plants is a must, fake or alive, as they will provide a sleeping and hiding spot for your bettas, as betta in the wild do live in a very heavily planted environment. And over here, I'm just using a decoinator. Make sure to always decoinate your water as chlorine and other bad stuff in the water can hurt your fish. Now, the last thing you will need is the filter itself. Over here, I am using an internal filter from a betta fish. When choosing a filter, please make sure the filter isn't too strong for your fish but not too weak for your tank size. The general requirement for a filter is at least 5 times your tank water volume. So if you have a 5-gallon tank, you will need a 25-gallon per hour filter. Please also make sure to look up on how to cycle your tank, as cycling is really important for your fish health. I will link some videos on below that explains about cycling really well. Over here, I'm using a filter media from an already cycled tank, so I didn't really need to cycle it again, as it's already cycled. Also on a side note, if you live in a cold environment, please use a heater, as betta fish needs a stable 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 to 30 Celsius for the thrive, as they are tropical fish. After that's all done, you can now put in your fish into the tank. So this is for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope it was helpful. If you guys have any more questions, just leave it down below. I would love to chat with you guys and share my fish keeping experience with you. And please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you enjoyed the video. I will see you next time, guys. Bye bye.